And now for something completely different.
Okay, so folks, this dive is a double dive. First, we have on our left, what are you?
Pelican!
A pelican?
Yeah.
And what are you?
A sandwich.
A sandwich. And what is this dive?
The pelican chasing by a sandwich.
Pelican being chased by a sandwich?
Yep.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay.
Wait, put that down. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Go get him, sandwich. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the ranch. I'm Dr. Lee, and it's mighty good to have you here today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. I hope the weather's good where you are, and I hope the virus is going away, hopefully for good. But anyway, like I said, we're all doing well. The ranch is recovering from the deep freeze we had about 2 months ago. You guys all know that story. The biggest things that we were worried about were the axis deer, because thousands of them in this area froze to death the 3 or 4 days that it never got above freezing, and especially when it got down to 5 degrees at night. We lost a lot of them. So we've been watching the game cameras for the axis deer. The other thing we were worried about is the live oak trees around here. We have never seen them lose all their leaves at once. They're called live oaks because they look like they're alive year-round. They never drop all of their leaves at once, kind of have a sporadic shedding of the leaves, if you will, but they're never completely denuded like they were when it got down to 5 degrees and burned all of the leaves off the trees. We were really concerned about losing a lot of trees. It looked pretty much like a nuclear wasteland or a nuclear winter, if you will. Kind of gave you that post-apocalyptic feeling, which brought to my mind one of my favorite post-apocalyptic movies with one of my favorite actors.
For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
And a word to the wise, if you ever find yourself in a post-apocalyptic beer joint, you might want to avoid the dude with the Bible in his hand. But anyway, guys, like I said, the ranch is recovering well. You can see all the green on the trees, all the oak trees. They got all their leaves back, and we are beginning to see axis deer filtering back through the ranch in small numbers. But at least we know our little herd did not get completely wiped out. And if you'll remember, a couple of months ago, I made a video talking about how the coyotes, their numbers are just exploding around here, where we were seeing the populations of them increase on the game cameras, picking them up at night. And even made some comments about how we're seeing a few of them on the game cameras during the day. Well, you know, what we've seen in the past, most of the coyotes around here pretty much stayed to the norm, the expected things that we think coyotes should do, i.e. you see them at night, you don't see them in the day. They hunt in singles or pairs. You know, if the moms stay in the den with the pups and the dad goes out and hunts, they mate and stay together, usually forever, but occasionally only through raising the babies, and then they'll separate, but kind of like humans. But nevertheless, you know, that's the norm that we are used to seeing. But things have changed. And as you guys well know, this ranch is dedicated to the protection of the native species, the indigenous species for the purist. And that entails maintaining burn piles like we used to, but instead of burning them, now they become brush piles, which are habitats for small animals. And they, after they've been sitting there for a year, they all tend to fall down and flatten out. So about every 5 or 6 years, I go out there with a tractor, pile them all back up, bring all the stuff from the outside in, and then take the tractor with a scoop on it, pick it up and pile it in the middle so that we get our pile back. And that way it can hold and protect a whole lot more small animals. Well, I was on my tractor the other day, headed out to this particular brush pile to reshape it, when I noticed something off to the left. And the closer I got to it, I thought, holy cow. And this was probably about 11:30 in the morning. And I thought, holy cow, there is a coyote. Never seen one out at 11:30, midday basically. And so I got my cell phone out and I took this video of this little guy. I'll speed it up because it is kind of lengthy. But anyway, I thought that was pretty doggone rare to see one out. You worry about rabies and things like that. But this coyote didn't show any other neurological signs, just was out at the wrong time of day. And also, just for levity's sake, I'll tell you the rest of the story. I put my cell phone back in my pocket and went back to work, reshaping this brush pile, and I got the edges all pushed up. And when I took the tractor that I was using has a scoop or a bucket on the front of it, and I scooped under it. I was going to pick up some of the edge stuff, some of the pile that had shifted to the edge. I was going to pick that up in the scoop and then lift it about 6 feet off the ground and then carry it to the center as close as I could get to it and then dump it into the center. Do that all the way around, and then it makes the pile get taller. So my very first scoop, I shoved the tractor in there. I got a good bucket full of stuff, and I picked it up, and I got it probably about 6 feet off the ground, and I was just about to take the tractor and push it forward when something caught my eye, and I looked up, and honestly, if I'd have reached forward, I could have touched it. It was a skunk looking right back at me. So I quickly dumped that bucket and the skunk, and without even looking, I turned around and hit that reverse pedal, and we were going straight backwards. I was telling my wife this story, and she said, "What was the skunk doing when you dumped that bucket?" And I said, "I don't have a clue. My head was going that way, and I was going that way, and didn't really care to know if anything was chasing me or not." I took that tractor in reverse, but anyway, that'll get your heart going. But also, while I was talking to my wife about that, she said, "Well, you need to mow the front yard too." And I said, "Yeah, I know it. I've been putting it off for a few weeks." And this is my front yard. And it takes me about 7 or 8 hours to mow this front yard, depending on how tall the grass is. And the grass had gotten pretty tall. And I do it in sections, and I divide it up usually in about 5 or 6 sections. And this is the first section right here. And the reason I took this picture, and again, this is probably about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that afternoon. And the reason I took this particular picture is I was mowing around this one little section in a circle. And when I started to come back into the middle of the field, I noticed something was there that had not been there previously. So just watch closely here. And again, this is a cell phone video, so it is not the greatest. But anyway, this is a young female coyote, and she came out into the middle of this pasture while I was mowing in broad daylight and probably made a kill. When I'm out mowing in this pasture, you saw how thick that grass is. There's a lot of rabbits in it. She probably saw a rabbit. And more than likely, she's probably got a litter of pups somewhere. She did not pick this rabbit, or whatever it is she was eating, she did not pick it up and take it with her. So possibly, I was wondering if she was going to grab it and take it back to a den. But evidently she's probably just got some older pups and needed the nutrition for herself because she's probably still nursing those babies. But anyway, another case of seeing coyotes in broad daylight. And to top it all off, when I was editing this video this morning at about 10 o'clock, kind of give you a little set the stage hint here, my computer backs up against some full-length windows, and I was sitting there editing the video, and something caught my eye, and I looked up, and it looks into this pasture right behind us here. And out in the middle of that pasture, well, you guessed it, I saw something. I thought, that looks like a coyote and a deer out there. And I thought that's really strange for them to be that close together. And I got my camera, and as stealthily as I could, I came up over here and got behind these trees and videoed 2 coyotes out in the pasture. So here they are. And again, this was about 10 o'clock this morning. And they never saw me the whole time I was filming until the very end of it, when I was seeing how close I could get to them. And when they did see me, and see, this time I was not on a tractor, I was not, shredding a pasture. To them, I would probably look like a predator to them. So as soon as they saw me, man, they were taken out of here, which does make me feel a little bit better. Had they stood around and watched me like they did when I was on the tractor, I would be pretty concerned about that. I posted on Instagram earlier this week the video of the coyotes that were out in the pasture where I was mowing. And a lot of people on there said, you need to shoot those guys. And I thought, no, they're indigenous species. Mother Nature will find the balance. They're probably here because there's a whole lot of bunny rabbits here right now. And that's kind of the way Mother Nature works. And like I said, it is just a little bit disconcerting, even to my one-eyed raccoon buddy and his girlfriend. So shoot the coyotes? Nah, that's not going to happen. The hogs, that's a different story. Man, those guys are taking over to the extent that there's a pasture about 100 yards to my immediate left. You're right. And it is so torn up from hogs that I destroyed a shredder, a solid steel shredder I'd had for about 15 years. And the land is now so rough out there from the hogs digging holes in it that the blade hit the ground so many times that it finally destroyed the gearbox in the shredder. And I just said, heck with it, and went and bought another one. So we've already kind of launched war against them. Operator Drewski's out here a lot with night vision, and that is a pretty good aid. But there's still more hogs than we can handle. But anyway, like I said, we take care of the indigenous species, but the non-indigenous, the non-native species that come in here and destroy the habitat of the native species, just can't tolerate that. I hate to be that way. I'm a veterinarian, and I spent my life saving animals, but this is a situation where we have to discard those to take care of the ones that are supposed to be here. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's serious. Well, guys, that's about it from out here at Coyoteville. We need a roadrunner that's smarter than the coyotes, I guess, to come out here and take care of our problems. If you have any solutions, let me know. And again, I can't destroy them. They're part of the native species. It's part of the native populations here, and it's my job to take care of them. And we will do that. They look pretty healthy, other than the fact they do have mange, but they do have a lot of body fat on them. We used to see them come through here and they were just scraggly and skinny, but these guys all look pretty healthy, so not worried about disease and things like that in them. But anyway, guys, thanks again so much for coming by and spending a little time with me today. One thing I did need to bring up, all of you very commonly ask me about Kim Nix. For those of you who are new, she contacted us about a year ago. She's a subscriber, has been for a long time, and her husband has cancer, and she made the comment that all the videos and the way of life that Mark and Jackie lived and set really helped her and her husband prepare for the road ahead of them. But Dale has cancer, and this is just a point in the game where I just need to come to you and tell you that they need all the prayer and all the good wishes and all the good thoughts. They need all the energy that we can give them. They need all the love that we can handle them. So if you'd like to leave them a note down in the comment section, I'm sure they would love that. And like I said, they need a lot of strength right now, so help them if you can. Anyway, and I know you will. That's the way you guys are. Y'all are absolutely the best group. I watch YouTube all the time. I never see a comment section full of wonderful, kind, beautiful people like you guys. We are just very, very blessed to all be here together, and I thank you for that. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you next time, and I want you to always remember I love you. Bye-bye now.
So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's going to learn you?
That's a mistake.
Just once in a decade, in a lifetime maybe.